Nick, there's a Zelda 2?
I'm blanking on your name, dude. It's
What?
been a couple weeks.
2 months? Yeah,
Zelda 2, 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah,
Zelda 2. It's a theme. We made a
two
theme.
months, and look what I start with after. This is my follow up to Mario Goldeneye. No, I thought it would be fun to honestly just kind of have a slow pitch across the plate tonight. God knows I could use one. And you said you'd never seen this Zelda before, and you were polite and said you'd like to see it, even though that's a lie, because no one wants to see this game.
Well, so here's my takeaway, right? This is one of 3 Zelda games that I have not beaten, along with the DS entries, which
Now,
does
have
not
you
exactly
played
put
it?
it in good company. However, I'm given to understand from our friendship, however, that this is a unappreciated gem in your book.
I don't think this game is bad, which I don't know if that is a compliment or not.
Well,
But you know,
my takeaway from that, as far as the fan community of any given property goes, is that anything that is different from what they know and love tends to automatically be called bad.
well, you know, as much as I loved Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, I would not like to play that game 20 times over. You know,
Right, yeah.
it's good when they do something different. The game was weird though. Did you ever play this?
I've not really. Like I've sort of like putzed around with it a little bit when I can get it for free on like the Switch online
Yeah.
thing, but
So-
never beaten it.
The gist of it is, it's a weird game.
Well, yeah, Link's
So-
walking around with his dick in his hand.
Well, I mean, you know,
You can't unsee it now, can you?
I no, I really can't, unfortunately.
Damn it, Chris.
This is like Lagoon all over again.
Well, this is gonna be a 1-episode play.
But anyway, oh no, we're finishing this sumbitch.
Yes, that's what I
Um,
like to hear.
No, it's a weird game because it's like kind of like an RPG in that you kind of go into these battles, you know, like turn-based combats.
Well, and there's Metroidvania elements before, that was a.
We're using
novel
all
thing
these
to say,
terms I
right?
hate.
Yeah, but it has the basically
Item-based
Metroidvania means
exploration.
side-scrolling exploration. Yeah.
Yes, yep.
So I guess
But-
you could say it has some Castlevania 2 elements. Or maybe Castlevania 2 had some Zelda 2 elements. I'm not sure.
Oh god, technically you are not incorrect. So
I'll go on the record right now and say that Castlevania 2 wasn't the worst thing ever. It was not the best thing ever. But it was not a good
It was-
thing. But,
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't particularly good. That was the problem.
well, but people forget though that okay.
It
so when
had some good ideas.
Yes, and when talking about NES games, I think people forget like what it was. Well, forget a lot of people today didn't experience what you and I experienced today, where you could go to a rental store and pick up an NES.
Castlevania 2 was my Vietnam back in the day.
Yeah, but you could like roll the dice on a rental game back in those days, and you could waste $6 of your money and go home with something for the weekend that was totally unplayable. Like the quality control for NES games just was like that. Nintendo seal of approval meant jack shit in the grand scheme of things.
Well, it was also faked quite a bit as well.
Yeah,
but-
exactly.
Yeah, you could either grab Star Tropics or
Right.
7-Up Cool Spots.
Exactly. So my thought with Castlevania 2 is, yeah, it was cryptic and borderline indecipherable at some parts, but it was a playable game. And so right away it puts it heads and shoulders above, at least 40% of the NES library. Which makes it right in the middle.
I really thought that'd be something, but
yeah, like if it were released today, like alongside like Truck Simulator or something, people would probably give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10, which is still a functioning, playable, even enjoyable in parts game.
you could release a lot of games from 20 years ago today, and they'd be considered unplayable.
Well, yeah.
In their defense.
Well, but the NES in its day had a lot of unplayable games. Like did you ever fucking play Karate Kid, for instance? There's a game that rides high on nostalgia because people loved the movie, but if you ever played the game, you probably got to the second stage and just never
didn't
got
know
any
it was
further.
a thing, honestly.
Oh god, dude, we should do an episode of this channel where we just do like the worst of NES like retro games.
There's an idea. Oh, okay. So to explain what I'm doing, I'm kind of tooling around here. There's some items I need
with
to
himself
get.
there.
Well, he found the statue, which apparently is very important.
You found your god.
I have a couple errands I gotta run before I go to the first town.
You know, it's funny you should say that because the way that Link looks on the overworld, he really looks like a guy who's being paid to run errands. Like, he looks like one of those Roman postmen, you know, that would run along the roads. You know? Fuck, can't die, won't get paid. I mean, look at him fucking go.
I never noticed that until now.
Oh my god. Well, it's better than the image of him with his cock out in front of the world.
Well,
you know?
I don't know. It looks more like to me like he's got like a salami sausage that he's holding.
What are those things that thieves? A
blackjack.
A blackjack. Yes, it looks like a blackjack. I'm gonna go with that because it's better than penis, but it just happens to be flesh colored.
Town of Ruru. I think a lot of the town names in this game where they
copied Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They copied Ocarina of Time. They had a time machine, and that's what they did with it.
Have you seen the fucking meme that's been floating around on the Facebooks where there was a college student and he introduced his paper by saying, even though it was made in the late 1900s, The Matrix has a lot of themes which still apply today. And like, I can feel myself decaying in my grave. Oh shit.
Did you say 1900s?
Yes. I mean, it's not inaccurate. But damn, if it wasn't a troll paper, they sure trolled the hell out of my emotions. Also, what did that woman do?
I got She restored my life. What else could that possibly imply?
Come in, big boy. Man, this town sure is full of a lot of ghosts.
Talk with my father before you leave.
I love the font in this game and the typewriter noise it makes. Talk to my father before you leave. Each
like
town has 8 wise men. Learn from him.
An entire world full of Daleks.
Right? Exterminate. Oh man,
I love these little Hugh Hefner wizards as they're eating cookies down here.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Not Gandalf. Wait.
Oh, this would have been used.
Parappa. Yeah. Parappa Desert.
They also ripped off Parappa the Rapper. You know.
Come on, Nintendo. Come up with something original, would you? That's hilarious. How have I never known about Parappa Desert?
Honestly, did we need to know what the desert was called?
Link gets like as soon as he sets foot onto sand, he starts hearing now kick, punch, off in the
candle
distance.
In Parappa Palace. Oh,
thank you, oddly stunted child.
Yeah, it was very small. Okay, well, I guess I'm
kill me.
Supposed to get the candle in order to go in that cave up here in the north, but no, I kind of aced my way through it just by muscle memory. So let's go get the next ability and then head to the first dungeon.
You know, I remember in Zelda 1 as a kid, once you got the candle, the game just became... Hey, Rudo, yeah. The game just became use candle on everything until you find the end. Yep.
God help you if it was the blue candle, though.
Yep. Well, and the best part of that was, unless you had the strategy guide, there was no way to fucking know. Just use it on every damn tree until you hit pay dirt.
Well... when you really kind of started to develop Stockholm Syndrome with that game, you could kind of tell.
Well, yeah, like when you transition to a screen, like,
meme.
Hey, it's I am Error. Yeah, what's up, Error?
The meme that launched 1,000, memes.
All right, he might as well have just said this guy are sick for all the street credit gave him.
IR sick.
IR.
You saved the trophy. Oh, it wasn't even a statue; it was a trophy.
It was a trophy.
She needed him to get her uncle's bowling trophy.
Right. Because statue has religious implications, Nick. Come on.
That's true. But yet there are crucifixes in this game, if I remember correct.
Yeah, isn't that a weird one? That, like, Zelda was, like, Link originally went forth into Hyrule using the power of Christ to defend himself. You remember that on his shield?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Very Crusader-esque.
Yeah.
Also, quite a bit of religious imagery somehow still left in Lufia 2. I almost called it Dungeon of Doom, but it's Rise of the Sinistrals?
Yeah, Sinistrals, yep.
Yeah,
Well, and so,
we'll get to Lufia 2.
Hell yes, we will someday. I'm thinking after we beat Lunar, but by then the Mass Effect
I started
trilogy will
it,
be
and
out.
I have comments. Use keys in palaces they are found in. Okay.
So
but anyways,
a quick aside on the religious iconography in Japanese games. So the reason that it's so prevalent isn't because there were like all of these Japanese Christians trying to get their names out, or they felt that it looked European-y. It was more like when they needed a symbol that was exotic to Japan, they would fall back on, Western Christianity without having any real idea what they were slapping on the screen other than, it looks gothic, so let's use it.
I can understand that up to a point, given the country's history with the Meiji Restoration and early Christianity coming in.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there were some people who absolutely knew what they were putting on the screen.
But by that same token, makes sense.
But by that same token, like the crucifix and the rosary, they might as well mean, like let's summon Gandalf or Jesus Christ. Like to them,
well, it means about as much as like a Shinto shrine does to us.
Exactly, right? We don't know like what that deity is or what they do or like what kabuki mask represents them or something. It's just Eastern exotica to us, right? And so, by that same token,
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, slapping the cross on Link's shield didn't mean that Link was a warrior for Jesus. It just meant, this is fantasy Europe. Welcome to it,
It stood out in a nice color contrast to the rest of the shield. So
exactly. So that's my rant for the evening.
That was interesting. That is interesting. I did not necessarily know that.
Now, Castlevania, however, was far more deliberate. That was
that was based more on like Bram Stoker.
Well, because Dracula was straight up the devil in those games. So why not?
Strange, because in Bram Stoker's novels, he was just a guy.
Yep, he was just a dude who. And that's the funny thing. Bram Stoker's original novel, you really don't get a whole lot of his motivations at all. I'm just fucking hungry. I'm gonna go to Europe and eat people. That's pretty much
the thing
his
is that they weren't necessarily about Dracula. They were about the fear of right. Okay, let's see.
Still one of my favorite novels to this day.
Well, it was short and sweet, and it didn't overstay its welcome.
Dracula.
And it was good.
It was excellent. I liked the narrative device it employed for the time, which was pretty novel, which was using a bunch of people's like personal records to piece together the story. That was kind of a cool thing, because even though like by today's standards it's
something very Tolkien-esque about that.
It's fairly obvious, but it's only obvious because everything that came after it imitated it, right? So like of course the monster that's speaking to Renfield turns out to be Dracula, right? I mean, you have to be blind not to see that coming, but by that same token,
it's like never really stated, and there's never a reason about it to the point where it's like, what's the point of Renfield? But yeah,
Oh yeah. That being said, I also love Renfield, because the more you read of him, the more you realize like that his character is meant to be like total slapstick right up until Dracula caves in his skull.
That's the thing about it. Yeah, it's meant to be funny, and you're like, what are we building up to? Oh, just like graphic murder. Okay.
Yeah, okay, the funny man's not funny no more. Oh no. Funny man go die. But I love the part where he's like insulting everybody except for Mina, because he's kind of hot for Mina, and
well, everybody was.
All just taking, yeah, right.
I guess there's no magic to be had here. Okay. Yep. This is the first of 6 palaces, so
6 in this game, okay.
6 plus a super palace at the end, which we will be safe stating.
Gotcha.
Because that one's a mess.
Thank you, emulation.
There's just certain things. Okay, this is where we'll talk about Lufia too.
Yeah.
There's just certain things by today's standards that when you try to do them now, they just don't translate. It's like grinding in Final Fantasy IV. Like, who has time for that?
Right. Which is funny because I distinctly remember having time for it as a child, but yeah.
Yes, that's the thing. Well, you also had far fewer games as well
Yeah.
as a child.
That's really true. Like I'm looking at a list of about 6 games currently that I have in my possession that I very much enjoy and really need to finish. But Connor showed a interest in Dragon Quest, so I picked him up Dragon Quest 11 for the Switch, and we're playing it together. And it's all I can occupy my time with right now, even though I've already dumped like 200 hours into that game.
A delightful little story.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Not only can my kid read on like a 3rd grade level in kindergarten, but he's using that power to get into Dragon Quest, so I want to nurture that.
Yeah, get that kid a Robert Jordan novel. You're doing all right.
Yeah. Oh, I can't claim. I don't know. Like, he is like ridiculously smarter than me. Like, I don't think I read at the
God,
at the level
I
he's
hope
reading
he's
at
not
until,
smarter than you, Chris.
Oh, yes, he is.
Like at his age or currently?
No, I think partially at his age, but then also like at the age I was. Like in kindergarten.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
In kindergarten, I sure as shit could not read a whole book, but he can. I mean, like, there'll be, like, a couple words where he's like, Dad, what's this word? And it's like, prognosticate or something like that. I'm like,
yeah, like phlebotomy.
Yeah, right, you didn't know that, son? Come on. But no, like, he can straight up make his way through an entire, like, menu of words and, like, to the point where, like, the kindergarten books that they have him and his friends reading are, like, boring to him because they're, like, the...
Clifford goes to the fair.
Well, but they're like the Discover
Clifford
Words
went
books.
To the fair.
And he knows those words already. So he's actually wanting something with a narrative that engages him instead of stories where the purpose is to teach you new words that he already knows. So when he saw Dragon Quest the other day, I was doing this thing about a month ago where I was going through my list of like trophies and achievements in my PlayStation games, and ones where like I was so close that I felt like I had to go. What the hell are you doing?
I'm killing this thing. Tell your story.
Oh, it can die. Sweet. So like there are certain games that I have where like like Dragon Quest, for instance, where I did pour 200 hours into it, and I was only like 1 trophy away from a platinum. So I thought to myself, God damn it, I'm gonna go get. That was awesome, Nick. I thought to myself, damn it, I'm going to go back and get those platinums. And so Connor saw me doing that in Dragon Quest, and he's like, Dad, what's this game? And he starts getting really into it, and I'm like, okay, so if you actually think this is cool, I will put a copy of Dragon Quest 11 in your Easter basket. And he got psyched. So here we are.
Cute. It's cute.
But the way he described it, he's like, fighting mountains, climbing dragons? Yeah, I like this. Like, that's pretty much the story, son. Yeah.
Sweet and dyslexic.
That is definitely Dragon Quest. Climb mountain, fight dragon, sure. Let's go. How would you rank the dungeons in this game? Fairly engaging, slogfest, somewhere in between? Oh.
You just came in. Okay, all right. This could be troublesome.
I mean, clearly not linked to the past caliber, but
well,
where do you see?
Seeing as how they're 2D, they're already at a disadvantage.
Sure.
They're not bad. They're not as engaging as the ones from the first game.
Why did I stop to pick up money?
But for what they are, they're fine.
Yeah. I mean, are there any like true brain teasers in them, or is it just like find your way around and kill things?
There's one that has a false wall in it, and the only way you'd know that is talking to a certain NPC.
Or calling the Nintendo hotline.
Well, there's also that, but far be it from me to assume that was their motive.
I love that you get to...
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so this is the single worst enemy in the game.
I've seen memes of this guy, yeah. He's a bitch.
The Fire Knuckle Knights.
Yeah. So, in other news, I didn't realize this, but I just noticed this game employs something that's quite a bit ahead of its time, which is that you actually get to pick what you level up.
No, actually, it's the illusion of choice. You can either level that up, or you can level nothing up. It's
Sweet.
Weird.
Never mind. Well, but it kind of wanted to do that, and I respect that.
Guess I didn't have a key.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. that perplexed me even as a child. So because they don't want everybody leveling up your like sword to level 8
Like
by
right at the
your
beginning
8th
of the
level.
game. Yeah.
Exactly, because that's what everybody would do.
Yep. And they would be right to, because then nothing's going to kill you.
Absolutely.
Then these fuckers. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Nice.
All right, good. I got him in a feedback loop. So,
we need to come up with a new conversation.
yeah, this is gonna take a bit. Yeah. So, anyways, what's new?
Well, I'm fully vaccinated now from COVID, which is nice.
You too.
Yeah.
Me too. I showed up at a Rite Aid one day, and they were just handing out vaccines because it was the end of the day. So I was like, all right, I'll take my first dose.
Sweet. Well done.
So here I am 3 weeks later. Now,
do you know what you got?
Do you have... Yeah, I got Pfizer.
Yeah,
I
same
pay
here.
attention to that stuff.
Yeah.
I had actually a rougher time with the first shot than the second shot.
Really, I was the opposite. I spiked a nasty fever and got like laid out for a day with the second one.
Most everybody that I've talked to, that's been their pattern. Like, I was the weird one, of course. Like, my second one was no problem for whatever reason.
It's like your body's telling you, hey, yeah, I'm used to this. Why would it be worse for me? But then, you know, there's all the medical data and whatnot, which is the opposite.
I guess Pfizer was just kind of weird in the first place because it involved, what was it? Like, it involved doing something with your body's mRNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is apparently new and different, and they're saying that could be the next frontier in cancer research.
Right, because, well, I mean, it wouldn't do any good to give you the virus, because then you just fucking have COVID. A low dose of COVID is still fucking COVID. So they had to work around that, or around the usual vaccine pattern. Damn, Link is really pissed at these skulls.
And we're only going to do this, like, until I probably get to the next level up, just because 50 XP is a lot at this point in the game, just to kind of jump me up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that does put you up there, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's significant early on.
For
and
relatively no effort, yeah.
Yeah, and when you beat the dungeon, you basically get a free level up, so, you know, got to get your sky miles out of it.
Yeah, definitely. So, you got, you're fully vaccinated. What are your life plans now?
Well, working on selling the house, but no.
Oh, really?
That comes next year. My sister wants to buy it, and
right.
I'm kind of tired of it already, but...
so you're finally moving to Bloomington?
Well, we got to see what's going on with my manufacturer, because if the last 2 years haven't been rough enough, this microchip shortage might just close our factory doors. So
you're finally moving to Bloomington?
Well, yeah, find a decent job.
Actually,
I should probably visit first.
Yeah, I was gonna say not to like actually put ideas in your head and
these
get my
keys
way.
Supposed to come from? I don't remember this being so difficult. It's the first gosh darn dungeon,
right? Not to put ideas in your head just to like get my way or anything, but IU is in a tremendous hiring kick right now because they lost so many employees last spring because there was no need for anyone in the financial office because, you know, campus closed and everything.
Yeah, well, as long as I wouldn't have to see any kids. I'm about sick of colleges at this point in my life.
Actually,
worst mistake I ever made in my life was going to college, period.
Yeah, right. Actually...
no, I'm dead serious. That was both times.
Yeah, it's just a piece of paper.
Should have just gone to a trade school, but you're anxious to tell your story. Go on.
No, it's fine. All I was going to say is I know someone personally who works in the financial department, and yeah, it's very much just an office job, and they handle things like, you know, accounting and student loans and crap like that. They don't actually deal with the students.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah. And, you know, if you get into the university ecosystem, by and large, you stay there because, you know, the pay's good and there's nowhere to go but up because if you show that you're dedicated to the university, they just bump you up as long as you're local and loyal.
It's like a government job, but, I don't know. It's like a government job.
Mm-hmm. Not inaccurate. Wait for this coffee liqueur to kick in here. Oh, man. There he goes. I was like, wait, is Link gonna have to stab another bitch?
I don't feel like dealing with him. I need 400 XP. I'm fine.
When do you learn the pogo stick of destiny in this one?
If you're talking about the down... Oh, yes.
Exactly
yeah, the thing that... Yeah, the thing that Shovel Knight did so much. That comes...
God, this game copied Shovel Knight, too?
Yeah, it was this game. I mean, plagiarism is the highest form of flattery, as they
Right.
say.
Speaking of which, I'm thinking like for this year's indie summer bash, we may want to do some co-op Shovel Knight. That might
I
be a
gotta.
riot.
That might be interesting. Yeah, now that I think about it.
Because
I mean,
I'm really
it's not
bad
like
at
I don't
that
have
game,
it.
and you're really good at it, and so I could, at the very least, just throw my body in front of you as a meat shield.
Yeah, there's some possibilities there. Okay, I swear, just one more level up for the boss.
Do it. Did you get?
Like
did
I
you find
said-
that key? Yeah, you found the key.
Yeah, I got two of them
I
now.
saw
I
you
made
found
sure.
Sweet. If only there was a menu where you could check that sort of thing.
There is, but
Nick,
trying
I
to
feel
go
like
off
I've
memory.
definitely asked you this on this channel before, but what is your favorite Zelda?
well, that's fine because whenever you ask me what is your favorite anything,
It's
my
gonna be a
answer probably
complicated answer,
changes depending on my mood.
Right. What's your
I
favorite
think
Zelda
I'd have-
tonight?
I've got that bad habit of doing my favorite versus the objectively best, I think.
Yeah, we all do. So I guess give me both.
I guess I gotta say, well, I guess this one's. Oh, wait, hold on. I was gonna say Ocarina of Time, but then I remembered Majora's Mask was a thing.
Oh, really?
But does that matter? No, I'm gonna say Ocarina of Time for both? Question mark.
I was going to say it does matter because, I mean, it kind of gives you an idea of what you look for in a Zelda experience. Because, like, Zelda's been around the block a few times.
I appreciate how linear Ocarina of Time was with its straightforward goals.
Yeah.
Hey, candle. Majora's Mask was interesting, but some of the stuff you had to do was convoluted and not organic in figuring out.
Yeah.
Like, getting some of those final late game masks was just tedious.
So I basically beat Majora's Mask on attrition. Like, there were so many people who rave about that game and say, it's like the best Zelda game that was underappreciated for its time. I played it, and
It's not the best, it's the most bizarre, though.
yeah, it is. And I there was stuff I enjoyed, but overall, like, it had been hyped up to me so much that I was like, by the time I was done with it, I'm like, why?
Well, it's not the game's fault.
No, it's not. But by that same token, though, I thought I was going to be playing, like, the greatest Zelda experience, like, ever. And there was so much that was, like, it almost felt like a fan mod game, like the way that they kind of copy and pasted assets from Ocarina of Time.
It almost was, yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
But that's almost essentially what it was.
But the N64 isn't the best looking system to begin with, And so when you mishmash a whole bunch of assets, the results were kind of mixed. And I felt like it was improved in the DS version, where they were able to kind of give it more of its own unique brand.
That was the awkward phase between it had the expansion pack to make the graphics better,
Yeah.
but yet you were dealing with all the old character models, which added kind of almost a strange feeling of familiarness and comfort.
Yeah, there was a weird juxtaposition to it, which wasn't always offensive, but at the same time I was looking at it and just thinking, they couldn't have, slapped a different color hair on the shopkeeper or something. Am I supposed? But
nope, because that game had to be out the door.
That's right.
From within 12 months after it was conceived of as an idea.
And it worked out because
like
it's supposed to be like a nightmare kind of Hyrule sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, for what it was, for such a small turnaround on that game, the results were amazing, I thought.
Oh, absolutely. I don't want to discredit that. My thought was more just like, for all of the adoration it gets from, like, and I've got to quit listening to any game community in my 30s, because it's always just toxic bullshit. But for the
everything on the internet is toxic bullshit.
That's exactly right. But for the fan community's love of that game, I was expecting so much more than I got, and so Majora's Mask got knocked down a peg for me by really no fault of its own, and I admit that. But my favorite is always going to be A Link to the Past.
That one is very solidly built.
Yeah, one, it's objectively a good game, but then two, it gets a lot. What
okay,
the fuck is
so
that?
first
BoJack?
boss is BoJack Horseman.
BoJack Maceman.
I like that.
BoJack Maceman.
Basically, he's just a bigger version of the Iron Knuckles.
What the fuck's he doing with that? Why is he winding up like a baseball bat? Hey, motherfucker. You stumbled into the wrong fucking dungeon. Now you're gonna eat wood. And by wood, I mean mace. And by mace, I mean me. What? That don't make no sense. Look at the grin on his face. He is, like, very confident that he's winning this fight.
See how his... Watch him when I jump over him. Look at his head.
What the fuck?
That is exactly what that look says.
Come here, you tricky minx. I'm gonna fucking bash your brains in.
Huh.
I am going to cave in your skull with this.
Why is he Puerto Rican now?
I don't know. We're going Walking Dead on your ass.
I gotta see that.
What the
fuck?
Oh, man. Reminds me of this boss in, weirdly enough, Hook for the SNES. There's this skeleton that you have to jump
right, that
over.
Is weird.
Well, you have to jump over him in order to hit him from behind. And it's actually kind of a tricky mechanic if you're not paying attention. That was one of the first games I did on Play the Hits. I did just a single episode where I played through Hook.
For that, yeah.
That was one of the first games I ever had as a child, and so even though I recognize that it is a kind of sloppy game in most parts, it still, again, just rides high on nostalgia for me. And again, it's a playable game. It's actually fun when you get the mechanics down. It's just the mechanics can be kind of clunky. Like, there's this mechanic where you get, it's sort of like Castlevania where you can find, like, an upgraded weapon laying around in the environment, and then you get it, and it's great, but you take one hit and it's gone.
Oh, kind of like the armor from
Ghouls and
Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, right.
Or Ghouls and
take your pick.
Spookies or whatever.
Ghost and Gandalf.
I don't think Gandalf was in that game.
He is not. Wasn't he the bad guy? No, it was just a generic
No,
wizard.
that was Satan.
Well, yeah, and a generic wizard.
Did you confuse Gandalf and Satan?
I didn't read The Lord of the Rings. Leave me alone. I've read it many times, for the record.
Wait, are we talking about Lord of the Rings or are we talking about Ghost and Goblins?
What's the difference?
Well, one is an NES game and the other is a novel.
Oh, okay. I don't know what we're talking about. Anyways, no, yeah, it's the same kind of frustration.
I don't know what we're talking about. Proceeds talking. Go on.
Right. Well, you get the upgrade. It's awesome to have, and then you immediately lose it. Because there's like enemies that will hit you no matter what. Yeah.
Hate those guys.
Kind of like this guy with his fucking boomerangs. He's gonna hit you. You're in his cave. You walk into his house. He is gonna hit you. Well, those guys probably get easier with the down slash.
Oh, much more. That's actually what I keep thinking I'm doing, but I'm not.
Wait, are those the little floor bugs from Metroid?
Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Where's that magic?
Magic time, baby.
Alright, at least I'll only take half damage constantly.
Nice. Oh, so that was the origins of the red tunic. Interesting. You fucker. You fucker.
There we go.
There he goes.
Not so
Enemies
bad.
give you somewhat decent EXP.
Yeah, even though I did kind of power level.
Yeah, but hey. First episode's all about setting up the rest of the episodes.
There's life support now.
Yeah, right.
You can hear the beep.
This, I will say, though, that the life in danger sound effect of this one is far less annoying than it was in the original game.
Oh, that's why I need jump. Okay.
There we go. Shit.
Delivers what it promises.
Yeah. Jump.
Okay, now what is this? Oh,
thank God.
That's good timing.
So, Nick, the Mass Effect trilogy is coming out pretty soon.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is.
Are you still feeling exceptionally ambitious? I mean, I know we've already talked about 2 different games that we want to play on this channel, but...
Entirely possible. When does it come out?
I think... maybe next month. I think
I'm
May.
slightly concerned that it might compete with my time for Resident Evil 8, which I may or may not pick up at this point.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about Resident Evil games is they're not tremendous time commitments.
True. Yeah.
There's no reason you
there's
can't
a
do both.
secret somewhere in this forest, if I remember correct.
Get, one game that has, 3 games in one game that could potentially take up, 300 hours worth of time versus one that could take maybe 12 to 20.
I didn't even get XP on that one. That's
nice.
Wonderful.
Fuck you, that's why. What the?
I was right there. Okay.
Nice. What the hell are those? I can't even make out what those are. Those like weird ass dodo birds with.
I'm
frog
assuming
legs?
they're like ticks, you know?
Sure.
Like-
That
like
seems
ticks?
as good as my guess.
Okay, there's something here, clearly.
Well, yeah. Sky's black, so that can't be good. Whoa. What are you?
Alright.
Why can't I make out what you are?
Well, why don't you just check the instruction booklet?
Right. An instruction booklet that I totally have. Oh, here.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
This was
No,
something.
that
Oh,
was the
this is
third-
for
Hey,
later.
it's
in the
error.
game, okay.
What's up, Error? Oh, Bagu. Bagu? Bagu? Bagu?
Show my note to Riverman.
The fuck?
There
there are
is
lots of
important for
dudes on
later.
the river. You're gonna
I
have to
mean,
be
it's either I memorize this and do it ahead of time, or we call the Nintendo Power Hotline.
right. Find Huck Finn. He is the only solution.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, hey, I'd love to have my health refilled.
Did I ever tell you
Hey,
my Huck Finn story?
no.
I got assigned it for a book report in the 3rd grade. And, I totally didn't understand, the prefix of Huck's, friend Jim,
Oh.
or why it was such a big deal for me to say it in my book report. That's what my 3rd grade teacher shut the whole class down. We had to talk about racism. Like, how is it racist? I just fucking called him what the book calls him.
It's what the book said.
Right,
The book is an authority figure.
The book literally says N-word Jim. What's the problem? Is that his name? I just thought it was his first name. You know?
I don't know what I like better, the situation or the fact your teacher seemed completely unprepared to deal with
Yeah,
this.
like, why the fuck are you assigning me Huck Finn without giving me a heads up that the most explosive word in the English language is on page 2? Jesus.
I feel like there was a lesson plan that was ignored at some point here.
Sarah says,
boy, we're
my
slumped.
genes made Connor. ... How? I ask myself that every day, honey.
That's not how genetics work.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
a 50-50 deal.
He's completely his own person. Don't blame me for anything. Or don't give me credit for anything. But yeah, no, that was fun. But like, it was, 90s grade school, and teachers could, coast to their jobs without really giving a shit. So other than the fact that she couldn't let the N-word be said in her classroom, I pretty much completely tanked the book report, because I surely must have been trying to be offensive. And it's like, lady, no, I straight up do not understand this. Like, but she would not give me the time to explain myself, which, that was just education in the 90s.
Wait, I can explain. That's about how that sounds.
Yeah, right? In my defense, I did not know what the word meant. I'm sorry I called you and your family it.
More importantly, why wasn't this explained to students? Well, okay, it was the 90s.
Yeah, it could have been
I
like a
guess.
teachable moment, right? Like, now, you probably noticed that in the book, he's called this word. We don't use this word because of the history of racial turmoil and whatever. No, it's like, Chris, you fail, and now we're going to talk about why Chris is such a bad student. Like, fuck you. Oh, fun times.
Oh, wow, points everywhere.
Sarah says she blames me for Michael. Michael is a pretty dramatic 2-year-old right now.
I don't know how to interpret that statement.
Michael's
Oh, God,
like,
no.
When Michael's being sweet, he's the sweetest little boy in the world. When he's angry, though, oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, I've got a dog like that.
Yeah, he just beats the shit out of you for no reason.
Oh, my. Well, no, that's Rex, but no, I was thinking of Duncan.
Yeah, you try to change his diaper, you're gonna get kicked in the face a few times, right?
Well, I mean, that's what those legs do.
You offer to play with him, but then you touch his toy, he's gonna throw that toy right at your fucking testicles. It's just... He's a dramatic person. Yes, he is.
Okay, let's see here.
Is this Riverman? Is this Huck?
I'm getting there.
Water time.
I am indeed getting there. Eyes of Ganon are everywhere. Be careful.
He kind of looks like a thinner version of George Jetson's boss.
A little bit.
There was a thing
I can't
too.
remember if I have to do anything in this town before going to the next dungeon or not.
Seems reasonable.
Because the next dungeon is
Where did they
like,
get green
just down the
bricks?
street. You know what? That's a valid question.
But red on the inside.
I have an answer for it. Oh, hey, the mirror's under the table.
On the mirror.
The mirror I
where
didn't know I
people
needed
usually
yet.
put mirrors.
Actually, if you were getting bricks of this color back then, most likely they would be laced with arsenic, because that's how you got good green coloring. A lot of people were driven crazy by their wallpaper back in the day.
Yeah, because of the weird ass patterns. Yep, I know.
No, not because of the patterns, because of oh, I got to talk to him a bunch of times. Because it was laced with arsenic. Arsenic was the only way you could get a really good kind of electric green color, and because
good.
everybody was all about the fancy colors back then, well, yeah.
Arsenic Wallpaper. Well,
Yeah.
we have our episode title. Everyone in this town is just like stark raving lunatics. Don't trust anything they say. She takes Link into her house and she puts on a hat made of skin. Like, what? No. The mirror that you found under the table, it's because the dude's a total pervert and everyone who comes into his house he invites to sit down and then slides the mirror under their leggings.
You know, Bagu, then I can help you cross. Apparently this is all about who you know.
Wait, that's Riverman? That's not what I expected. I expected like a really dingy, like malnourished, like Gollum-like creature. It's just some beefy ass dude with a sword. Like, can you come with me, maybe?
Okay, I think I can at least pick up a spell before I go to the next dungeon.
Oh, sweet.
So
So,
I played Lufia 2 recently.
to the end?
No.
No, okay. Well, what do you think
I don't
so
know
far?
if I don't know if I can play it to the end.
Oh, really? Okay. Tell me what's bothering you about it.
This is one of those situations where I kind of going into it, I told myself I wanted to play the game in the original Greek, so to speak, which is no bells, whistles, no save states, no fast forward.
SNES authentic experience, yeah.
Yeah, boy, did I start retracting on that stuff real quick.
It is a grind-heavy game.
I can accept that, except now this is one of those games that really made me wonder, am I not enjoying this game because it's 2021 and I have so many other games I can be playing, and I would have enjoyed this more as a child when this is the only, like, one of 3 RPGs? Or is this just a boring RPG? I don't know that I have an answer for that, but I put in about 17 hours.
Okay.
I got to the first fight with, I want to say his name was Gades?
Yeah.
Gades?
The dude in the black armor?
Yeah. The first main Sinistrel.
Yeah.
The fight where you're supposed to lose, and it's like, no, I'm pumping up the power levels. I'm gonna beat this guy, and I did. And then my interest just completely flatlined. I was like, after 17 hours, I'm done.
It does start extremely slow. I will give it that.
And I wasn't sure I could pull a Final Fantasy 13. It gets really good 20 hours in.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was willing to do that.
So what I'll say about it is, after about the point where you are, when you climb the I forget what it's called, maybe like the Tower of Awakening or something. There's a tower that you climb and they effectively double your stats, and not just to level up, like story-wise, they double your stats.
Interesting.
But anyways, the more like characters you get in your team, and the deeper you get in the story, the more I enjoyed it. And I think in the original, like in 1995 or so when it came out, I think you really would have enjoyed it. Given how similar our
here's the
tastes
thing: is I don't have a problem with the storyline. I don't have a problem with the characters. The characters are actually fairly delightful. They actually feel ripped right out of a 1990s anime.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with. But the thing is there's just so many dungeons and they're all the same.
Oh yes.
And the enemy sprites are so uninteresting. Like, okay, comparing Lufia 2 to Final Fantasy, I'm sure that's not fair because there's probably some budgetary issues going on.
Yeah, they didn't have Yoshitaka Mano designing all of their creatures.
And that's kind of what I figure, but I mean, the enemies are just so boring to look at. I mean, with Final Fantasy, you got your big ones, your small ones. Oh, this guy takes up the whole screen. What's he gonna do? It just
oh my god, this is giving me a headache.
It just struck me as like we're just doing the same things over and over. And after like the 10th dungeon, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Where I finally settled on the dungeons was like, okay, so I know I'm in for a long and relatively grueling experience, I've got to find something to enjoy. And so, like, the more I engage kind of with the puzzles and, like, the environmental interaction, the more I enjoy it.
I love the puzzles.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The puzzles are great. I love that.
Yeah, but you're right. The dungeons flatline after a certain point. But where the game redeemed itself for me is around the third act, the story really does become interesting to the point where Lufia 2 actually has one of probably my top 5 endings in all of gaming.
Now, do I have to play Lufia 1 to appreciate anything in 2?
No, not at all, because 2 is actually the prequel.
Yeah, I'm most likely going to pick it back up at some point. Don't get me wrong, because I never like to put down a game, particularly when it's a classic.
If you were to do like, I'm guessing you're emulating it.
Yes.
If you do like a Game Genie type thing to just have it like instantly win all of like the dungeon battles,
no,
for you, so that
I
you
can't do that. What I'm currently
but then you
doing
focus on the puzzles or something. But just enjoy the story.
I am fast forwarding. Well, see, yeah, I mean that's the thing. If I'm not enjoying it, I shouldn't be playing it.
Sure.
I'm going ahead and
oh my god,
doing save states and fast forward.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that could be helpful.
I figure at the very least we're going to cut down on wasting my time.
Sure.
But
Nick,
no,
this dungeon might give me a stroke.
I at least have to go through the pantomime of
I did this. Yeah.
Yeah, of at least like I fought the battles.
Yeah. That you did.
Yeah, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not necessarily dogging it out. It's just one of those things where I could definitely feel like when I was a kid and there was 3 RPGs to play as opposed to like 500.
Yeah, right. Like take
and
your
I gotta
pick
play
of
them all before I
like
die.
2D ones, 3D ones, classic imitators and things. Seriously though, this is fucking Arsenic Wallpaper right here. This is This is driving me mad. There's something about this dungeon.
Arsenic
every time
Wallpaper.
you move. Jesus, it's like an optical illusion.
I kind of blame the emulator because when I played this on the NES, when I played this on the NES, I didn't quite feel like I was gonna have a seizure. But
maybe the scan lines really took the edge off.
You are probably not wrong.
You needed that magic. Oh god.
Well, the life spell becomes very helpful at this point in the game.
I imagine so. Yeah, but yeah, when like the bricks aren't moving, it's fine. When you scroll, oh my god.
Unfortunately, the bricks move a lot.
Yep. Yeah, they do. Pretty much every time Link moves. Oh! For God's sake.
The background doesn't help.
Oh! Suddenly, like, modern graphics aren't just, like, nice to look at. They're like a necessity.
Don't you want to see this game with 4K with ray tracing?
Yeah, I do, actually, right now. Oh, shit. Do you have that life spell on you?
Yeah, but I probably don't have enough. Oh, this is just the Hammer Brother all over again.
Oh.
That's fine, you know
and
what?
then they fucking strobe you to death. What the? This game is actively trying to kill you.
Chris, it is a Japanese game at the end of the day.
Holy shit.
I mean, you're gonna fight some seizure robots at some point. Oh my
god, that could have only been worse if Pikachu showed up and ejaculated lightning everywhere. Jesus. Oh.
I gotta get into the flatulating elevator.
Right. Maybe slap some WD-40 on that or something? I don't know. Oh, man. You know, it was funny, like, I remember when I was a kid and the Pokemon was first getting, like, monumentally big. But the reason it became so notorious in America was because they read about the episode of the cartoon in Japan that would give kids seizures, right? The Porygon one, because of all the strobe flashing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so it was like banned in a lot of, like, I don't know, daycares and schools, and like parents were encouraged for their kids not to watch it. But then the church jumped on it and claimed
yes,
it was,
I remember that.
Yep, of course. It was like some kind of like demon worship sort of consumerism gone amok
Chris,
thing.
They were called pocket monsters.
Yeah, pocket devils or something. Yeah.
Only monster. The only monster is a good monster, Chris. They all worship Satan.
But then, for every article that said that, there was also like an undercurrent of, folksy 90s racism where the Japanese are trying to brainwash your kids.
Oh, those horrible, nips?
Yeah, right. Oh my
I don't.
God.
Well, that's not really a. I'm not gonna say it again.
No, but I mean, but people did use that like lingo, and it was just like a culturally accepted thing that like, don't buy Japanese products because they're going to subvert you and turn you into one of them, whatever the hell that meant.
Anything foreign was bad back then.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
nice.
That'll help.
That'll do.
Unless, of course, there's another night. Okay, good. There's not.
Yeah, and I remember too, like, you and I really grew up in the sort of the last era where, the kids who watched, anime or played video games, those were like the dorky, like, outside kids, right?
Well,
like,
there's
you got bullied for your personal interests.
Well, no, okay, all right. When you wanted to watch anime in the 90s, you had to work at it. You either had Cartoon Network or you had imported VHS tapes. There was no in between.
You had to go to a Suncoast Video in Toledo to get them.
Or KB Toys. No, you had to work at it. It wasn't as consumer level as it was now.
Oh, no. It wasn't like you could just turn on, Cartoon Network or even the freaking Disney Channel anymore and find, like, entire anime series just ready for you to consume. You're exactly right.
You weren't a fan of when Disney Channel ran Naruto with the Jonas Brothers opening?
Oh my God! But no, it was so niche, and like, people think today we're joking like, oh yeah, old man, sure you were bullied for liking something that everybody else liked. No, they're like straight up people would ridicule you if you expressed interest in something that was not mainstream, and I like that is. Like, today we celebrate being different, right?
It bad now. Come on.
Yeah,
oh, God.
I'm sure I sound like a fucking grandpa here, but seriously,
no,
like,
you're
that's
talking about experiences you've been through.
Yeah, like I straight up was ridiculed in my class because of the things that I enjoyed, and that stuck with me. That sucked. Anywho, Arsenic Wallpaper.
Oh, God, I'm starting to get a headache, and I think it's from these backgrounds.
Fortunately, I think you're almost done with the dungeon, and we're, like, right at 52 minutes, so I think we're getting there.
We're getting close.
Oh,
we are getting close.
Who did, what fucking maniac in Nintendo?
It'd be really awkward if I died at the boss, and then, because you only get 3 lives.
Yeah. Who is the fucking graphic artist, though? I want to know. I want to fucking know. I want to name Nintendo. Who did this?
This was early Hideo Kojima work. You didn't know?
Yeah, right. All the titles look the same, but if you drop every third title, there's a coded message about what happened to the Patriots.
No, he had some sort of like he wanted you to feel the disorientation and confusion that Link felt wandering through these labyrinths.
That reminds me, we still haven't played a fucking Metal Gear game on this channel.
Yeah, we probably never will.
Yes, we will. You shut up. It's either going to be 1 or 3.
Oh, good. I did things in the proper order for once. Now I can break blocks now that I got the hand.
Oh, nice. So say hypothetically I forced you to sit through me playing a Metal Gear. Would you prefer 1 or 3?
I can't sit through Hideo Kojima's technobabble. I'm sorry.
You can and
the man makes a good game. He makes absolutely horrible stories.
That's fine. I just fucking love sneaking around and snapping necks.
Yeah, but
at what
but you're not actually playing a game. You're listening to a game.
But you have to admit, at least for 1, it could be so melodramatic as to be entertaining. And 3 actually stumbled upon some intriguing concepts.
One worked because it was basically my favorite movie of all time, Die Hard, but in Alaska.
Oh my God, it's starting to look 3D to me. Holy shit.
Well, okay, cross your eyes and you'll be fine.
Right. No, I just found the boat. You don't see the boat? Oh look, it's a flying saucer and a horsey.
No, Mr. Pittman, I do not see the boat.
But no, so 3 I thought had like the absolute best like rogues gallery in Metal Gear history. We've already talked about how much I love the fight with the end.
Well, you say the best rogues gallery, and I'm assuming you're just referring to one of them because I don't exactly think anybody was like Man, do you remember the guy with the bees?
Okay, so that was a weak one, but I loved the end. I loved the Fury.
The Fury was the astronaut, right?
Yes. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that fight was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. I'll give you that.
That
was
the
like
end was the sniper
fight,
battle that Sniper Wolf should have been.
There was a fourth one who I can't remember.
Yeah, the
Didn't
Fear. But that was unique too because
I don't even remember his fight.
Well, because there wasn't a proper fight. Remember, you went down the river and it forced you to confront all the people that you slaughtered.
Oh, that was the Sorrow.
The Sorrow.
The Fear was like the weird guy who jumped around in trees.
Yes, that's right. He was cool.
I think you had to like fight him in a place that had like a bunch of traps, but I just like shot him in the face until he died.
Yes.
And ignored all mechanics.
Yeah, you could cheese him. You couldn't cheese the Fear. You definitely couldn't cheese the end. And then I also enjoyed the last fight with the boss as well. And actually, the Shagohod sequence I thought was one of the coolest moments in gaming up to that point.
That was a strong moment.
Yeah. So basically, my point is Metal Gear Solid 3 had a lot of strong moments, and I firmly think it's the best in the series.
Oh, I thought I'd get more life out of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're fine.
No debate there. The Shagohod chase was ahead of its time and like just great on many levels.
I loved even like basic boss fights like
By the time I
Ocelot.
got to the boss fight, I was ready to check out. It was just kind of like more and more.
Sure.
And more.
But anyways, like the fight with Ocelot, which is for all intents and purposes kind of like a tutorial fight. I love that you could fucking mess with him and like turn a bee's nest on him and like, you know, subtle interactions like that Kojima just obsessed
let's
over.
not muck it up at the end here.
Oh dear god. What? Aha.
Yeah, jump into him, Nick. That's his weakness.
Whoa. Well, that head didn't pop off. How did he do that with his helmets? How do you make that happen? What did Voldemort do here to make those helmets do that?
Magic, I assume?
Yeah, but I mean, how did like they dispense from the armor? I want to know. Does he have like a lever in there that he pulls with his teeth?
Oh, thank God, White Kif is dead.
White Kif. I still call him Voldemort, but that's all right.
Okay.
But yeah, like, so if the only one that you would find socially acceptable to play would be Metal Gear Solid 1, I certainly love that game.
I would have to say 1, ultimately. 1 probably works, and it's probably shorter, too.
Okay. So I assume by 1 you definitely mean the GameCube version.
But maybe 3, because that one I only played once.
So
I don't know, maybe...
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
So 3, like, when... There was a period where, in 2004 to 2005, where I played 3, I think, like, back to back to back to back. I was obsessed with that game. I think it's the only Metal Gear... I think it's the only Metal Gear game where I actively, like, legitimately unlocked the stealth camo. Like, I actually went through and did everything.
Oh, yeah, that game had, like, really cool unlocks for its time, kind of like the GoldenEye codes that you had to earn.
Yeah. Or in Metal Gear Solid 1, you could get the stealth camo, too, but I never actually unlocked that one.
Right. I think I played each Metal Gear once. I think I played 1 a couple extra times, and that was it.
Well, yeah, for most of them, once is more than enough, but, yeah.
Right.
But 1 and 3, and actually 2, I know 2 has way more than its share of narrative problems, but I actually overall really enjoyed 2. But 3 and 1 still, like, I hold a special candle for. Like I don't just consider them good for the Metal Gear series; they're good games.
What about 4?
What about 4? It came out. I played it.
A valid response. What about 4?
And now it sits on my shelf because I mistakenly bought the beautiful collector's edition.
Yeah, so did I, because you convinced me I needed to.
I thought it was going to be... Everyone thought it was going to be awesome.
I literally have that game with my DVDs and not my games, because
it's a DVD.
It's a boring movie. It's not a game.
It has an interactable menu, yeah. But no, like... There was no way we could have known. I mean, they had just released Metal Gear Solid 3. Like I said, one of the greatest games ever made.
I don't know. You give Hideo Kojima free reign. This is what you're gonna get.
Nobody
you give
knew
Michael
that.
Bay free reign. What are you gonna get?
They
Don't act
didn't know.
surprised.
They did not know that he was a drunken maniac at the time, Nick.
Well,
Oh my
anyways, before we hit the cave labyrinth here, this might be a good stopping point.
I think so, because now I'm depressed on Metal Gear. Oh, shit. So, Nick, about how far are we into the story here?
2 out of 6 dungeons.
Okay.
We could probably knock this out in 4 episodes.
I think so. You've
Maybe
clearly
3.
memorized this, which is good, because I have no idea what I'm looking at right now.
That's the weird thing is, like, I'm completely going by muscle memory here and not missing a beat.
Nice. Yeah, this part of the game is usually where I would kind of put my controller down and either go buy a strategy guide or never touch it again. So.
Well, I mean, this whole scene, this whole screen
Hi-Rex.
right here just begs Nintendo Power help.
I know, right? It's like actually written into the mountains. Buy Nintendo Power, and you can get through this part too.
And you know, once you get through it, you're gonna start thinking, "Oh, there's a heart piece in there somewhere."
That's right. Oh shit, Nick, I am looking forward to this adventure, man. Thank you. That's your cue to say something insightful at the end.
Oh, I thought you wanted to close it out.
Ah, no, you're playing.
Yabba-doo, yabba-doo. That's all, folks.
Yabba dabba doo. We'll see you next time.